Life is received every moment from an invisible source. In our memory, we remember the moment before. In our imagination, life has a continuation. But in reality, life is being received every moment. The past cannot give life to the present. The present gives life to the present. The present receives its life from the same source as the past received its life. The past cannot give to the present. What the past gives to the present is the potential of the form that's going to receive that life. The vessel is forming through time. But life is timeless, and in every time, life is received from the timeless. The form life is going to take depends on the vessel. The state of the vessel depends on the perception of humanity. According to how we perceive reality, according to our beliefs, we form the vessel. And then when the new life comes, it gets dressed up in accordance with the vessel. And then the vessel is prepared for the next moment. And the same process happens again. From life itself comes forth another potential, another life that is alive but doesn't yet have form, and it dresses up in the form based on what happened the moment before. The first place where life dresses up when it comes into form is the world of thought. The world of thought is directed by human perception. And from there it dresses up in the world of speech and emotion. And from there it dresses up into the biological cells that receive this life, specifically in this form. There's a movement going back and forth between the manifested reality and the unmanifested reality. Constantly, reality that we recognize, the reality that we can measure with our senses, is constantly blinking in and out of the source. It doesn't have anything to lean on. It doesn't have anywhere to be. It's constantly blinking in and out of the source at the speed of lightning. If we look close enough at the cells, we will actually see that movement. There's nothing there if we stop the show. But as long as there's new life coming, as long as there's another blink and another blink, therefore we perceive life as something steady, something fixed, something that has form. But life itself doesn't have form. It's blinking. That's why we see form. The formless forms into form at the speed of light. And wherever the formless forms into form at the speed of light, there is space. Why is there space? Because there's form. And so wherever there is time, there is space. Wherever there is space, there's time. Wherever the formless is not forming into form, there's no space and there's no time. And so time is this blinking, and this blinking creates a space. But this blinking, this life that's constantly coming, this life wants to express itself in the blinking even more. What's holding it back is the ability of humans to comprehend what they are trying to accomplish. If humans don't comprehend what they are trying to accomplish, they are causing damage to the world of thought, and therefore the life as it's blinking cannot fully be revealed. The life is tangled up in all kinds of demands that have been placed in the world of thought that are empty of any real purpose. They don't help the light shine. And so the shining of the light as it fills the vessels, instant to instant, moment to moment, as it's blinking, shining out the potential within the entire cosmos, within all of reality. It's blinking, but that blinking is directed by human perception. Humans don't understand how to cooperate with that wants to live in them. And therefore the world of thought is reducing the amount of light that life wants to shine. The thought that receives the life force the first, the world of thought at large, is what thought that this existence is worthwhile creating. The thought that actually defines what will happen in our world, in the manifested world, is the thought of the one who has received life, who is listening to my words. If you understand words, you are that thought that gives form to the greater thought that desired you into existence. And based on that form, you receive. Always. To know how to think in order not to get in conflict with that force that wants to reveal itself through us. This is at the core of every religion. This is the purpose of why we are in exile, or why humanity is in exile, why there's pain on this planet. The purpose of the pain is so that we learn how to direct the world of thought accurately. And if we won't, we will suffer the consequences. And then through that process, we are supposed to learn. If we're not paying attention, then we're not learning. And then the conflict between the thought that created us and the thought that lives in us can become extremely out of proportion. Like it is in the beliefs of humanity today. Every human being that's born into the world is going to have horrific beliefs about what it means to be human. And this is because the life force that's trying to live, to blink, to show its glory, is being frustrated by our ignorance. by our misunderstanding of the nature of what we're trying to accomplish. The revelation of the life force that creates space and time is the purpose of the form. Why is the life force dressing up in form? Because it wants to demonstrate something about itself. It wants to reveal something about a place that cannot be revealed. We are a demonstration of some type of truth that we are meant to contemplate and to understand and to appreciate. We are meant to have a certain type of a relationship, not only with the experience that we're having, but with every cell of our body. A very intimate, joyous relationship. It was meant to feel very good. Not only when we're having pleasure, when we're eating, or when we're enjoying other people's company or anything else, but just to be. The life force, when it wanted to get dressed in form, it wanted to dress in a form where it's going to be delighted to be itself. But as the one became many, and as the many got very confused, the experience deteriorated. The one could no longer reveal his glory. The world of thought got filled with jealousy and conflict. And then this is what materialized. And then humanity took itself to a place where it's very difficult for it to remember its real nature because it doesn't feel like itself. It doesn't remember how it feels to be it. And so it can't remember who it is. It doesn't know what's right for it. It doesn't know when it's violating its own principles. The life force only belongs to the source. It doesn't belong to the form. If the form dresses up the life force in a way that is not suitable to the life force, this form is going to be cleansed over and over until it can contain the life force. Because the vessel doesn't really have an identity. The life force is doing its process in order to shine. If an individual separates himself and he doesn't want what the life force wants, the life force is going to eventually cleanse him of himself, his own concept of self. The life force wants to live in the way that the life force is, so that she can shine, so that the blinking will demonstrate the beauty of the one who is trying to reveal. One who is in conflict with that revelation, he isn't. He is just an idea. The individual can have many ideas about who he is, but he's never anything other than the collective that made him in order to reveal his glory. His glory is the wisdom and the perfection of what he designed. That's his glory. That's the only place we will ever find his glory, is in what he made. That's him dressing up as this for His glory. If it doesn't seem glorious, it's because there is now an identity within that creation that is at conflict with creation itself. And therefore there is no glory. There's no glory in conflict. It doesn't reveal the greatness of the one who made. The greatness is revealed where there's unity, where there is cooperation between parts. That reveals the unity. Everyone was created to reveal the glory. There is no creature. There is no force. And there's definitely no human being that wasn't created somehow to reveal the glory of the intelligence, of the beauty, of the accuracy. We are a demonstration of His accuracy, yet we don't believe in His accuracy. So obviously the light cannot fully shine in such an occasion. And when the light cannot shine, it seems to prove that the design is imperfect, but this is the perfection of the design when we go with it in the world of thought, in accordance with how we were designed. There's nothing sweeter. But when we go with it in conflict with the world of thought and how it was designed, then it starts clamping down until we turn against each other. There's violence and there's pain and suffering. All this is saying we have lost our way in the world of thought. We're sending the world to a darker future. We are the ones who are responsible for the light. We are the ones who are responsible for life. We are the ones who are responsible for how life is going to manifest into form. The more we know how to align with this light, how to align with this will, how to be accurate in accordance with the will that blinks us into existence. The more we can cling to life itself. Until we remember that we are life itself. Until we remember that we are the type of creature that requires that everyone together figure it out, or else we still won't be safe. Humanity needs to know something that makes it so that going forward no one wants to become violent, no one wants to hurt anyone else, no one wants to take by force. Anyone who understands the truth will know that that's in their best interest, but when the light is not revealing itself, too many don't know the truth and don't care to try to find it out. Too many are so concerned with their survival or with certain patterns, behaviors, or pleasures that they're only concerned with until they've forgotten to ask the basic questions about their existence. They've forgotten to notice the way of how life happens in order to align with it. when the light will shine the way that it was designed to shine, all the questions will disappear. The revelation will be one that satiates the soul. And then existence takes on a completely different form, because the world of thought takes on a completely different form. From the anger and the jealousy that was dominating the world of thought, now there's gratitude and joy that dominates the world of thought. There's a realization of the nature of what's being received and how to enjoy what's being received in order to become grateful for its existence. The more we are grateful for its existence, the more we can carry the burden of existence without it being too heavy, because what we have received justifies any effort. And then we unite with our nature until living no longer requires any effort, because a nature is effortless. A nature wants to do when it wants to do, wants to rest when it wants to rest, and that's effortless if we just allow it to be the way that it was designed to be. If we interfere and we direct life how to be, that's when we are getting into conflict with the greater will that we don't necessarily know how to direct ourselves towards. These are live organs. This is a creature that is sensitive in so many dimensions. It's impossible for anyone to know how to cooperate with it if he isn't listening to it directly, each organ. If there's some type of an explanation he's following, he's for sure not cooperating with the will of the one who designed it. The one who designed it so that the direction comes from within. The organs are the ones who express what needs to take place, not external instruction. And so if external instruction is present, the organs are not aligning with the original will. And then there's a frustration of the will. The organs carry that frustration. We can see it on the faces of humanity. The frustration of the will being violated. The will that the nature of the organs should be known, that the designer of them should be king, that his will should be at the root of all our behaviors, of all our thought, speech, and action. His will is our will. But then there are imposters, then there are implanted wills. Those wills are not his will. Those are denying his will, spending the life force in a way that frustrates the life force. The place where we know the first when the life force is being offended is in the heart. The heart is at the center of this transaction between the source of life and the form and the vessel that it's somehow getting covered in. The clothing, as the life force gets dressed, he starts in the heart. And from there he spreads. And this we see in the physical language of the body, that the liquid of life is spread through the heart to all of the body. And so this is a demonstration of this spiritual process of how the life force gets dressed into this specific form, moment by moment, beat by beat. Life is circulating within our veins, It's not a continuous process. There is movement required. If we were to lean on the past, then life would expire. Life is constantly pumping. It's pumping spiritually, it's pumping physically. It's pumping, it's moving. Life is a moving phenomenon. It's an expression of the infinite that gets reabsorbed by the infinite and then comes forth again.